Hey everybody, it's Luca here, and this is the only time you're gonna hear my voice this episode. Pretty much, something else went wrong. Wow, something goes wrong on a Faro Films episode. Wow, that's crazy. But yeah, basically, like any audio I had recorded and anything that I had related to my editing software kind of crashed and screwed over everything. I lost audio that I was editing for the podcast of myself, and I lost even personal projects that I was working on. So yeah, a lot of stuff got corrupted, and it ended up being a stinky poo poo. We decided not to re-record the episode or anything, because Timmy was like, I'll just edit it down to just be me and Jules talking about Titanic. We were originally going to scrap it in its entirety, but Jules is quite passionate about Titanic, and he still really wanted some salvation out of this. So here's that episode, and here is me signing off for this whole entire episode. I'll be back next time, I promise. Cheerio, and enjoy what we have of this episode. Also, one more thing I wanted to mention quickly is that in the episode when we were recording it, I made a pretty damn convincing good argument for why they both in fact could not fit on the door. There's reasons why they couldn't fit on the door. There's a reasons in the film. The film provides you reasons why only one of them can fit on the door because of the weight of the door, and it would have toppled over if both of them tried to get on it. So screw everyone else for thinking, oh no, but they both could have fit on the door. That is not true, and I will not accept this.
Hello everyone, welcome to episode
18. It's 18.
18 of the Far Off Films podcast.
Yeah, we're just not gonna remember. So
well, no, you guys can remember them just fine. I just have trouble.
Well, I checked our YouTube
episode.
channel just in case which episode we're on. I was like, yeah, we're on 18. I knew it. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, we're on 18.
Yeah.
And I'm Jules from the channel, the RMS Walrus Man.
And I'm Captain Timmy Lee from the channel Tim Jong-un Productions. Yeah. So speaking of I don't have a good transition. I already had old people. We saw Jules's recommendation, the Titanic's. So, and also A Night to Remember. But we decided that we're going to be talking about James Cameron's Titanic first before we talk about Night to Remember, because a lot of our notes is just in comparison to the James Cameron movie, so I figured we should just talk about the Cameron film first before we jump into A Night to Remember. So, yeah, take it away, Jules. Explain Titanic.
Well, basically, there's this ship called the Titanic. You might not have heard of it.
No, never. Yeah.
Yeah, like no one's heard of this story before.
Yeah.
And basically what happened is that it struck an iceberg, and then it sank, and then these two, Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, were on the ship when they were dating each other, and then they survived. Mm-hmm. But Leonardo DiCaprio went underwater for a little bit.
Remember that line from the first 30 minutes of Titanic, where that small child was carried by her dad, and she was like, "Daddy, look, it's a ship," and I was like, "Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Like, what do you think it is? A plane? Like, Jesus." Sorry, kid. I just kept thinking about that kid when you were describing Titanic was a ship. Sorry, keep going.
James Cameron yelled at that kid probably. He's like, you already know it's a ship. Shut up.
Oh my god. Yeah. So.
Yeah. What did we think? Because I think this movie is amazing. I love it so much. It's my favorite James Cameron film.
Oh, that's your favorite James Cameron? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Terminator.
No, that's cool. That's very base. That's very base of you to say. Yeah. So, But yeah,
Anyway,
on Titanic, yeah. So I haven't seen this film since I was like 13 or 14. The last time I saw this movie, I must have been in high school. And I saw it during like the 3D craze or whatever, when a bunch of movies were being re-released on 3D and stuff. And I hadn't seen the film since. And at the time I was kind of cynical on this movie because I don't know, I was in high school and liking Titanic was like for losers or whatever, because it's like, yeah, cringe. So
cringe.
Yeah, so the external, oh my god, you actually like Titanic? Yeah, like we were it was I was during that time where it was bad to like Titanic. So like external forces affected like my viewpoint on the film. But now, after having seen it since, like, I think almost like not 8 or 9 years later, like when I saw it for the 3D re-release, like I was kind of shocked how good it was. Like, it was even better than I remember. Like, I mean, obviously the special effects are like the standout thing of this film. Like, this film came out like 1997 or something like that. The fact that this film still holds up to this day in terms of like special effects and CG and like production design, like, is kind of impressive. But what I wasn't expecting was like how, I don't want to say interesting, but like infectious Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet's like characters and like romance are, because like that's like the main focal point of this movie. You'd say it's like the romance, like it's the thing that you give a shit about when like the boat sinks. And I was surprised how invested I was in that in their like relationship, because they're very charismatic and they give great performances. But I was kind of like surprised, like I was like, wow, like not only is it kind of scary when the ship does sink, it's like you care what's happening because you care about DiCaprio and Winslet, you know. It's like, it's really, really great. So yeah, I really, really liked it. I thought it was much better than I remember it. So yeah, really great. Yeah. Jules,
I'm just like, it's like, I think it's one of the most like, I finally discovered this. I promise this is related, but
Okay.
our Pirates of the Caribbean discussion a few months ago.
Oh my god.
When I was like, I don't know why I like Dead Man's Chest so much. Yeah, because I was like, it's just because it's like, it's such a well-made movie. Like, despite Timmy's like hating on it.
I didn't hate it. I gave it a 5 out of 10. It was like fine. It was like average.
Oh, you should have given it a 10 out of 10. It's like but yeah, it's just why I love like Lord of the Rings and stuff, because like they're so well made, which I know is like, it's kind of the point, like movies should be well made.
Yeah,
like...
because like I really loved how like kind of grand scale and like kind of epic the film is, and like
it is so
this
epic.
this is a criticism I have for like A Night to Remember. We're gonna talk about that later, but like my biggest issue with like Night to Remember is just like they keep talking about how like the Titanic is like unsinkable. Yeah, but it doesn't feel like that, because it's like it doesn't even feel like the boat is that big. But then when you compare it to the Cameron one, like there are a lot of like swooping like CG shots of like how like massive like the Titanic is, and it's really really great. Like it's really dumb and goofy when like when when like Billy Zane, it's like, oh, like God couldn't like sink the ship himself or whatever. Yeah, it's like, it's really stupid to hear things like that, but it's like at least like that for the Cameron one, it's like justified, because like you can see this like gargantuan like fucking like anime mecha like of a ship that's been built with like the Titanic and stuff like that.
Like
yeah, it's like it's huge. Yeah,
like a
and
miracle of man.
And I think like with the like the hour and a half that doesn't involve the ship sinking, like you kind of get like a feel for like the ship, like in terms of like its structure, its architecture, the way like things are like designed and stuff.
Well as well.
Yeah, you get like a layout of like the boat and stuff, and and I think it makes those sinking scenes like even more terrifying because you have this general idea of how big the ship is when Kate Winslet is trying to look
plunging and stuff.
Yeah, when the like the hallways start getting flooded and like Kate Winslet are and like is trying to find for DiCaprio and then like they're at that gate where like the guy he's trying to open the door and he's like, I'm sorry, and then they like try to get the keys. Yeah, he's like, yeet, sorry, you know, and it's like it's terrifying. Like I forgot how scary the film is because like I don't know, maybe it's because I've never been on a ship before or I've never been out on the ocean before. Yeah, but it's just like I can't imagine how scary that moment would have been for like the real life people.
Like the Costa Concordia, like giant ships still do sink.
Yeah, and the giant ship in Korea when they were trying to go to the island, you know, it's like it's terrifying stuff, you know, but I think for me, in order for me to care about those things, I need to care about the characters, and even the side characters, you know, like the cringe Fabrizio. Italian boy, so Fabrizio or whatever the fuck his name was. He was like,
hey,
he was,
Mamma Mia.
Yeah, he was so he was so annoying. He was so annoying, but I still felt. Yeah, he was like he was going for like a Mario like thing or whatever, but like even though he was annoying, I still felt like scared when like the fucking like giant steam tube just like fell on him or whatever. Like that was fucked. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Well, you know, in the script, I've read through the entire script.
Of course you did, yeah.
Yeah, he like dodges that, and then later he swims up to like Billy Zane's boat, and Billy Zane kicks him out, and that's when he dies. Just from like exhaustion and hypothermia.
Yeah, so yeah, Billy Zane, he really knows how to play a despicable piece of shit.
Yeah, he's awesome in this movie.
Yeah,
he can be so like hamming it up, but also so good at the same time. Like,
sometimes the hamming up like kind of got way too over the top. Like I couldn't take seriously the scene where like he's like, "What? You were with Jack?" and then he like knocks all the food off the table or whatever. That was a little too like hammy and over the top for me. Yeah, that was really out of the nowhere. Yeah.
His bodyguard, Lovejoy, he's the best character in the film. He's awesome. I was actually disappointed you don't see him like did you guys realize he was the one who's like right next to the crack when it like splits open? That was him.
He? I didn't realize that. That's cool. That? Yeah. No, I didn't. Yeah.
Because in the script it says that like he falls into like a giant like twisted like net of metal and it's like impaled. It's like really fucked up, and I was like, I kind of wish they showed that in the film, but obviously they can't.
Is this film PG-13? Because like I didn't know you could show.
I believe it is actually.
I didn't know you could show a single titty in a PG-13 film.
I have no idea.
Okay, because I during like the draw me like one of your French girls scene, like I completely forgot that like you could see like one of Kate Winslet's boobs. And I was like, I thought for sure they like covered them. Yeah, I obviously cheered because I got to see that in 3D, obviously. Yeah,
that's
but like,
for me.
But I swear to God, I thought you couldn't do that in a PG-13 film. That's why I was so shocked that you could actually see it. I was like, is this like some weird rule where it's like if you only show one but not both, then you can make it PG-13? I was so confused.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh, very weird. Yeah, we can mow down.
You're like fine with all the people, children, like animals dying in this film. Like
yeah, we can mow down tons and tons of aliens in all the Avengers movies, but you better not show a tit. So
yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can like beat a woman to death and curb stomp her in a video game, but as soon as one of her tits falls out, it's a problem.
The moment you can fuck her, that's the one. That's where you can cross the line. Yeah. So.
The moment you sexually harass in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Gone too far.
No man. Yeah, the relationship. Going back to I forgot how good Kate Winslet is in this film. You know, like obviously, like
yeah, she's great.
Yeah, like obviously DiCaprio's the thing that people remember because he does all that cringe shit, like I'm the king of the world and all this other stuff. But like,
I'll just wait here then.
Yeah, but like Kate Winslet was fantastic in the film. Like I forgot, like I've always loved her as an actress, you know, with stuff like Eternal Sunshine and all this other stuff. But like she gave a genuinely great performance in this film. Oh yeah, the film's very honest about what it is. Yeah, so and I respect that, you know, like
I respect the hell out of it.
yeah, because like Cameron, I feel like when James Cameron, when he's the sole writer on a lot of his films, like he writes very simple stories. He doesn't write anything too crazy or complex. And from what I understand, when people are criticizing both this and Avatar specifically, they were like, oh, the story that's like, it's so straightforward. It's like nothing happening. And it's like, yeah, it's simple, but like, that doesn't mean it's not effective. Yeah, and that's the point. Yeah, you know, like a story doesn't need to be super complicated for it to be good. Yeah, like yeah, the environment is in of itself a character just as much the characters are. And
Yeah,
like
the
this
ship
is
is
specific.
itself a character.
Yeah, this is specifically the case in this and Avatar, where it's like, yeah, the plot is like straightforward and simple and nothing like crazily like special, but that's not the point. You know, the point is you have two characters who are in love and it's a straightforward story and they just happen to be on like the biggest ship in the world. Like that's the thing. And
Honestly, like,
you're not going into
I reckon-
Titanic you're not going into Titanic for some fucking crazy twists or whatever. You're going into Titanic knowing that the boat will fucking sink. You know, like it's you know
Honestly,
what to
I reckon,
expect.
Like, you could watch this film just from the second half, like from when they see the iceberg, and I think you would still kind of get the same like impact. All you need
See,
to know
but that's
is, like,
just a Night to Remember, and like that's why I didn't like Night to Remember nearly as much
But I
as
feel
this,
like you
because
could
it's
just
like,
be like, okay, these two people love each other. There's like an angry ex. The ship is sinking. That's all you need to know.
yeah, but like the first half is like I think crucial as
Yeah,
well, because like
obviously,
you
yeah, it's
need that
crucial, but, like-
you need to flesh out the characters for me to care, because like that was my biggest issue with A Night to Remember. I didn't give a fuck about any of the characters, and we're gonna get into that
Yeah,
later. But
exactly.
I cared about, you know, like Jack and Rose and all these other people, you know, and even some of the side characters, they were like really fleshed out. When like the Mr. Andrews, I think that's his name, he's like, I'm
Thomas
sorry,
Andrews, yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't build you a stronger ship or whatever, you know, like yeah, it's cringe, it's stupid, but it's like you feel bad for the guy, you know, like
Yeah.
you're
I mean, it
genuinely
happened in real
sorry.
life. He
Yeah. And
Yeah,
like
and
the scene, I think my favorite scene in the entire film was the when the string
the band
quartet,
starts playing.
yeah, and they play the sad time song, and it's like
Then yeah, it's so good.
that's a very it reminds me of like the music montages from like Your Name and Weathering with You, where it's like just a lot of music and it's just like very little dialogue.
It
It's
always
just like
ties back to those
yeah,
movies.
it already ties back to those movies, but it's like it's very effective, you know, because like
It shows the like the helplessness of this situation. Of just
Yeah.
the
Like, in terms of,
desperation
like,
all of these people.
in terms of
Like,
Cameron
it's
wanting
not
me
even
to
about
feel
Jack and Rose.
yeah, in terms of Cameron wanting me to feel what I should be feeling, he does a good job, you know, like I'm scared, I'm terrified, yeah, so
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like the way that it slowly transitions from like how the passengers seeing it, like they're just playing like mock football, like with the bits of ice from the iceberg.
Yeah.
To like when you cut back to like they've slowly realized that like, oh shit, the ship is sinking. It's gradually becoming like steeper to walk, and the way that's all done is like really it's really good. Like
yeah.
and also just like how like historically accurate it is, like how it manages to get all of those details in without like feeling like too forced. Like I think a great example is the yeah, don't worry. I think a great example is the guy, Colonel Guggenheim, who said it was like, I'm going down with the ship. He was the guy in
okay,
the
yeah.
he said that he was the guy who said we're dressed in our best and we're prepared to go down.
Is
like,
that the
gentlemen."
guy who with like the fucking funny face when like the water
Yeah,
showed up?
when the thing comes in. Yeah,
He had a funny face. Yeah.
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
that shows like the reactions to people who are like how they take this news. Like some of them are like really desperate to survive. Others are like, you know, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, like that.
And that's how it was. That's how it went down.
Yeah, I was surprised there wasn't a line where it's like, what? Like, the Titanic can't sink. It's unsinkable, because they repeat it like so many times in A Night to Remember.
I know, that one scene where the woman's walking through the corridor and she's like, oh, I don't know why they're making such a fuss. This ship is unsinkable after all.
Yeah, and oh my god, in a good way, I laughed when Rose's mother was like,
we seated according to class.
Yeah, and like, oh, I hope it's not too chilly, and I hope I have enough space. And I was like, shut the fuck up! You're like, the boat's about to sink. You asshole. Oh my god, I hated Rose's mom in this so much. Like, obviously, I was supposed to hate her, but like, still, oh my god.
What's in it? Kathy Bates in this film.
She was great. Yeah. It's like
one of her more underrated performances.
I love her like southernisms. It's like, boy, let's whip you into some fancy for this dinner. It like unironically made me chuckle. I don't know, something about like southern accents like that just makes me laugh. So
the thing that made me laugh the most is the officer who wouldn't let any of the men onto the ship and was like, "Get back or I'll shoot you all like dogs."
Yeah, and then he shoots.
Which was apparently an improvised line.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, that guy really got into the role. Mm-hmm. And that guy was an asshole in real life. He was really like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Apparently, Mark Rylance's character in Dunkirk is based on him. Because he was at the evacuation of Dunkirk in real life.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah. So, yeah. Jules? Were you excited when King Theoden was Captain Smith? Of the boat. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah. He should have charged out to meet the sea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Good on him. He picked some really good projects for a few years. He was in like the 2 biggest films of the time.
Yeah, his bank account must be stacked right now. Yeah. Yeah. I guess if I have to mention any like flaws, I would say my biggest issue is just I don't like any of the modern stuff. I don't like any of the stuff with like Bill Paxton.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's just not the most interesting thing in the world. I understand people liking it. It's just like I don't think that's, not only is that just not very interesting, it's just like it doesn't really pertain to the main story that much. So like you could honestly just cut all of that stuff out of the film and it like barely would change anything. Like I never thought about it like that, but yeah, that makes sense.
He was all the filmmakers who like looked into like ship sinkings after Titanic and like, oh fuck yeah, this one, look how many people died. We can make an awesome one out of it.
Yeah, that was actually kind of the only bit that I found kind of amusing and like also in a good way was like the guy, he was like showing like old Rose like on the computer. It's like, according to the Titanic, like when the thing sank and then like it broke in half and all this other shit, and she was like clearly unamused by this because it's like, bitch, like, you clearly didn't live through this. Yeah, so
I was there when it snapped in half.
Yeah, so yeah. And
I think
go ahead. Yeah, just go ahead. Yeah,
I think my only major problem is like the way they handle Officer Murdoch's death. It was the guy that he shoots himself. Like he. Oh. You need to tell us who these are. I don't know who any of these people are that you're saying. Yeah. So. He was the guy that shot himself in the head. But
okay. Yeah.
In real life, he's probably one of the biggest heroes on the ship. Like most of the lifeboats that were launched under his command. Like probably half of the ship.
Was he the guy that the main character was in the Night to Remember? Is that the same character?
I think so.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, in real life, he did not shoot anyone accidentally, okay. And I think it's rumored that he shot himself like when all the order collapsed and like there was no lifeboats left because he was like, I don't want to drown because drowning's a horrible way to die, so I'll just pop one in the head for myself, I guess.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I mean it's
a very dramatization bit. Like that's one of the only bits that annoyed me.
Yeah, I guess
Give
that's
that
also
man his dues.
Yeah, that's also an issue I had where it's like it's melodramatic and it's over dramatized, and I understand that's like the point, but like I guess it kind of at certain points it just kind of got to that moment where it's like this is like way too dramatized, this is like way too schlocky and like cheesy, and like again, there's like nothing wrong with that.
Did you feel about that?
I mean, just some of the stuff with Billy Zane is just like, I guess because I would say like Billy Zane is like probably the weakest actor in the whole film. Like he didn't give like a bad performance or anything. Just like, he was like just.
I feel like Fabrizio was the weakest.
Oh, I mean, I'm talking about like the main characters, the characters that actually matter, not like side characters like that. But like.
Yeah.
Of the main cast, like Billy Zane, just like he was like hamming it up like a little too much. So it's like, like when he's like shooting at Rose.
I felt like he knew what he was there to do.
No, he was like I said, he didn't give like a bad performance or anything. He he did his job, but it's just like at times.
DiCaprio, though.
Yeah, at times where he's like that scene where like he tries to shoot Jack and Rose, and he's like, "I hope you're happy together." And it's like, I put the ring in the coat. Yeah, it's like, oh my god. I was laughing during those scenes, yeah. So,
Lovejoy once again coming in to save the day.
Yeah. So,
I mean, like he was irrational, but like surely you must have thought like, they probably have a high chance of dying in the ship anyway when it goes down. So whatever.
Yeah, and it's like a lost cause anyway. It's like, do you really need to like drag this out? I guess like that was also kind of an issue I had.
If she had if he had realized earlier that she had the diamond, then maybe. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well. Yeah.
What's your guys' favorite moment?
The guy hitting the propeller and then spinning.
Yeah, same.
But no joke, that's like a good use of special effects. Like as much as we clown and meme that scene, that was well realized, So yeah.
I think my favorite scene is the just the shot of like all the wide sweeping shot. It's like not CG, like. That's a completely un-CG shot. Those are all real people.
Mm-hmm.
Of like all the people like running to the stern of the ship and like how the music swells around that scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's amazing. Yeah. I love that shot so much.
It was a powerful ending.
The kind of like weird dream sequence. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's almost like a fucking like Emmanuel Lubezki like one or some shit. Yeah, but it's like it's effective. You could call it like cheesy and like melodramatic, but like that it earned that ending in my books.
Yeah.
Like that's a very deserved ending. Yeah, so it was kind of weird when all the ghosts were like clapping when Kate Winslet and Leo were like making out. I was like, that's kind of weird. Like I get their ghosts,
cheesy,
but like
yeah.
I get their ghosts, but like you don't clap when someone kisses. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cheesy. Yeah. But yeah, it's cheesy, but it's fun.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with cheese. It's just, if it earns it, then like then there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand.
And
but personally, I have no
personally,
problems with it.
I thought the film definitely like I was never bored, but I could definitely feel the runtime, and I was like, you could have shaved like 10-15 minutes off the film, and it would have been just as fine. At a certain point, like the love story between the
Yeah, but it's fun though.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because like Avatar is just as long as this, but like I never felt like I never got this sense. I never got this sense that like Avatar was like dragging out its runtime, because like Avatar like not only had a much faster pace than this film, but like it never wastes time. It like just gets straight to the next point. This one like it has a much slower pace, which is fine. Like that's the point. It takes place in like 3 days on a boat, but like certain scenes were just kind of dragging on like way too long. Like like you were mentioning the Irish dance, like that was fun, but at a certain point I was like, okay, I get it, like let's move on. And then also like when the ship is sinking, it's like, okay, I've seen enough people drown and die, like we get it, like let's just get to the next part already. Like I was never bored, but I was just getting impatient at times where it's like let's speed things along. So yeah. See, I kind of liked that though, because it's like
I feel like they were cut to on a pretty consistent basis.
Yeah, and I think yeah, but I think like seeing all that shit definitely like left an impact on me, and it like when we do cut back to Rose and Jack, I was like, yeah, they're fucked, because like we saw all the shit that's happening like on board, and it's like they're fucked.
No, but there is a way that they could have done it.
Yeah, like
even James Cameron admits it.
We're not saying it's like easy. It's just like if one person on one side like gets on and the other
person on one side and then one person on the other side. And if they'd had like their legs could still be in the water, but as long as all their vital organs were out, mostly, there was a chance, albeit a kind of.
And don't you want them to live happily
but...
ever after, Luca? Like, don't you just want them to be both happy and?
I don't. Has anyone ever taken that argument seriously?
No, like it's a fucking meme. Really, I thought it was just a meme. It's.
I think it's more of a meme than like an actual like. Oh, this is a critique of the film.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you. Okay.
Yeah.
If you say so.
Yeah. You're wrong, but whatever.
Yeah. This is just a pointless argument and like debate. I don't know what to tell you, so. Yeah, so I mean, I'm glad you brought up that scene though, because like it made me think like both before and afterwards, like how, because even though the boat sank at that point, people are still terrified as shit. You know, like when like Kathy Bates was like, "What the hell are you all doing? Like, let's go rescue them." It's like, "Shut the fuck up," or something like. I mean, obviously he didn't say that, but like he more or less said that because it's like. Even though there was enough space on the boat, they could have saved more lives, but like, and even Old Rose said it too. It's like there were like 20 lifeboats, but only one came back, and like the one guy that came back was like Reed Richards from like the Tim Story Fantastic Four movie, or was that just me? I thought maybe it was someone else, but like, yeah, like when they were looking at the bodies and like you had these like frozen ass bodies, and he's like, "Oh my god, we could have like come back sooner," and like,
yeah, actually they Oh, you can finish.
Yeah, no, it just like it made that like rescue just so much more impactful when like because like they're looking for bodies and Rose is like she's trying to cry but she can't because she's suffering from hypothermia, and she's like, "Please, Jack, wake up," and all this other stuff, and then like she does her damnedest to like get to the whistle and like get their like attention and stuff. It's like. Again, it's all cheesy shit, but it's like it's effective. Like I felt what I needed to feel in that moment. It's like it's a very well done scene. So yeah.
Yeah, they didn't actually show it in the film. It's in a deleted scene, but in real life, that there was a ship on the horizon that was like inside of Titanic, called like I forget what it's called, but basically it was inside, and the radio officer like on that ship, he like left to go to bed like 5 minutes before the Titanic SOS. So if they'd caught that, then potentially no one would have made a movie out of this.
I'm surprised there wasn't a scene like that in the movie.
I've always been disappointed that they didn't, or like confused why they didn't.
This whole disaster could have just been averted if everyone just wasn't so fucking stupid. That's like all I'm thinking. Mean... like in real life, like I'm sure a lot of people cut costs when they built this fucking boat, but then like all the people who were running this ship on the Titanic, like let's take aside the fact that costs were cut and like corners were cut. Like if everyone just wasn't so fucking stupid, then this whole disaster could have been averted. If he just slowed the fuck down just a little bit and everyone wasn't such an arrogant asshole and just like put enough lifeboats to fit everyone, and like everyone wasn't so fucking lazy or horny, this entire thing would have been averted. But no, everyone just decided to be stupid and horny. Yeah. Yeah, if everyone wasn't so stupid and horny, the ship wouldn't have sunk and everyone would have lived. It's just that simple.
Yeah. I mean, like, the propellers were, like, too small for the ship. That's why it didn't turn in time.
Yeah.
Because it was such a huge weight that it takes forever to, like, turn that to a new direction.
And I know this has nothing to do with the movie, but just in real life, it's like, I can't believe people were this stupid. It's like, it's crazy. So, yeah.
I mean, it was 1912. Like, it's not like they exactly had access to, like, an automated warehouse. Like, they're assembling this ship by hand, basically.
I know, but it's just like, it's really just like, it's really ironic when people are like, oh, God couldn't sink this ship, it's unsinkable. And then it sinks, it's like, yeah, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? You know?
I think that's why... Mm-hmm. But I mean, like, it is almost feels like a movie premise, like, waiting to happen. Like, a giant ass ship that's, like, the biggest ship in the world on its very first voyage, like, sinks in this horrible disaster. It's like in Jurassic Park where they're like, don't mess with like nature, like this is bound to happen, like kind of like that sort of messaging in a way.
Yeah, it's so crazy that this true story thing happened that you can't even believe that it actually happened, but it did, you know? Yeah. Like, it's crazy.
Isn't it kind of weird that like the Hindenburg disaster like killed the the fucking blimp industry, but like this thing, like it should have done the same thing, but the cruise ships are still like a huge thing all around the world.
I mean, because they
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they can't just like
get
rid of
blimps were already kind of on the way out.
Yeah, blimps are worthless anyway. It's like, but you can't get rid of planes or ships. Like you kind of need that to like, if not to deliver passengers, then deliver cargo. Yeah. So, yeah,
Zeppelins are really slow. These ships are not, but it's always weird.
I mean, apparently, like this like
didn't
changed.
Have like a greater impact on the.
Apparently, this changed like a lot of like safety standards. Like now, it's like you have to like. The number of lifeboats you have must be equal to the number of like people like on the ship or whatever.
Less than you'd think actually is that Titanic was very controversial because it had elevators in the ship, which had not been done before. And you could have fit like more engine space in there, but elevators are still used in ships to this day.
Yeah, I don't know. So, well.
Yeah, no, I got stuck in an elevator once. It was terrifying.
Yeah, after Wish-A-Pod, I don't trust those damn elevators. Yeah. So.
Also, in the I think I mentioned this to you already, you guys, but in the Draw Me Like One of Your French Girls scene, the guy in front of me in the film, who was an older gentleman, in his like 60s at least, he pulled out his phone and just started filming.
Oh my god. Can he just look this up online? Does he not know how Google works?
I guess he just didn't know. So he's like, I need to take a video of this for later. Yeah, me and the person next to me like looked at each other like, is he fucking serious?
He really wanted that Kate Winslet boobie, so.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like tap him on the shoulder. I was like, you know what, I'll just let him.
Yeah. Must be the only, yeah, so.
Also, it was a really great 3D experience because I haven't seen anything in 3D in like a really, really long time.
You didn't see Avatar in 3D?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I didn't even see that in IMAX, unfortunately.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it was a pretty big screen that I saw it in, but yeah.
Yeah, James Cameron is responsible for me seeing 3D more times this year, these past 2 years, than I have in the past like 10 years. Like.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I had
Yeah.
I've had such awful experiences with 3D in the past. Like when I been to IMAX a few times and been to 3D things, they used to give me like such like piece of shit, like basically flimsy plastic, or not even plastic, paper glasses, and you could just see out of your peripherals and stuff. But yeah, this time it was actually like really good, and I was like, damn, this is actually what 3D is made for. Like it looks so good.
I was lucky because my 3D glasses that I go to at my theater, like they're basically the same size as my regular glasses, so it's just like, just putting on another pair. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we should probably move on to A Night to Remember, so let's wrap this up. Yeah, I'm giving this one either a 7 or an 8. I don't know. I have it as a 7 right now, but it's like closer to an 8. I have like some issues with the film, but overall it's like a great experience. Yeah, I really loved it. So yeah, 7 or 8. I don't know. One of those. So
yeah, I'm just gonna do it. Fuck it, it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, just do it. If you love it, yeah, just do it.
I love it so much. I could watch this film any day, over and over, and just not be bored. It's one of my favorites of all time.
Let's talk about
this podcast. It's been a night to remember.
Oh my god, let's just talk about it. The boring version of James Cameron's Titanic. Yeah, The Night to Remember. You want to? Yep. What is there to describe? It's the same thing. The boat sinks, people die. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe fucking James Cameron's such a hack. He ripped off this 1958 movie.
Yeah, there were so many coincidences in like has Cameron seen this film before? Because like because like there were so many coincidences that happened in both of these films, where it's like because they played the 2001 music in both of these films, like they played on the beautiful Blue Danube, and I was like, that can't be. He must have either.
That's not 2001 music.
I know it's not 2001 music. That film came out before 2001, but I always
use that.
I know, but I always associate that with 2001. So like when that film played it, and then Cameron's film, I was like, this can't be a coincidence. Like he must have seen this film and thought, "Oh, that's a good idea."
It's just a good tune.
No, it is a good piece of music, but I just thought it was crazy that they both
classical bands use it.
Yeah, I thought it was just crazy that they both played the 2001 music. I thought that was wild. So, yeah.
Suspicious.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, this one was boring. I was so bored with this one. They somehow made the sinking of the Titanic boring, and I don't know how that's possible. Like they somehow did it.
I can identify what it is. It's the lack of music in all of it.
It really is, because like I didn't think there's no music. It's just people screaming
it really shows how much of a role music plays in like creating an atmosphere.
It's really important how vital that, like, it made me realize how important that like that string quartet was in the Cameron Titanic, because when they were playing music during the scenes where like people are screaming and like running for their lives, it's like it's really so impactful and really grand and really emotional. But then there's just like, not only is the music in this one just like not as good, they eventually they eventually mute out the music for more scenes of people talking and just like running away. It's like this is
the ship is sinking and people are going like, "Oh, excuse me."
Yeah, it's like it doesn't seem like they care about the situation. It's like it doesn't even seem like the boat is sinking. They're just like, "Oh, dilly dally," but like, let's is there any room on the lifeboats and stuff? It's like literally not until like the last like 20 or 30 minutes of the film where people are actually realizing, "Oh shit, like the boat is sinking. Let's get the fuck out of here." But like there was no like major indication of that. There was no like there were no shots of like, you know, water like spilling into the boat. There's no like none of that happens until like the last 30 minutes, and by then I was just so uninvested. I was like, can the boat just fucking sink already and just like let's move on with my life, you know? Because like none of the characters are interesting, none of the characters are well written. They barely have any character of themselves.
Yeah, I mean, they're
like,
real life people, so like,
yeah, this felt less like a movie and more like a PSA for like boats drowning, like boats sinking.
I think it is classified as like a docudrama.
It felt like that was what it was going for, but it doesn't like.
I think it actually was.
But there's no way I would have figured that out, because like it's not shot like a documentary. It's not treated like a documentary. It's like treated like a narrative, but it's like, I don't know what they were going for, because like if this was just a documentary on the Titanic or like some like recreation of the Titanic, like I would be fine with that. That would have been cool. But it strides this line between like trying to be a documentary but trying to be a narrative as well, but it doesn't succeed at being either. And I was just so bored. I did not care about anything that was going on. I mean, like the special effects were pretty good. Like it was for a film that came out.
I think it's a very well made movie for 1958.
Yeah, for a film
honestly.
that came out in like 1958, like the special effects were surprisingly good. Like they still surprisingly hold up.
It's a very good production value.
Yeah, and like that, but that was the only thing I really liked about the film. I didn't like anything from like a narrative or like directing or like just really for any interesting angle. It's just like, yeah, it looked nice and like the special effects were cool, but like that was it.
It put authenticity and historical accuracy to like the forefront, which sometimes, or most of the time, did not work out in its favor.
Yeah, because now that we know that it broke in half, it's like,
oh yeah,
fake news. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys notice that they didn't show up breaking in half? Because people didn't believe that actually happened. They were like, okay, it may have sunk, but there's no way that it actually broke in half. And then when people actually discovered...
I was confused by that, because, like, if they had people...
Do you know when people actually discovered the wreck of the Titanic? It was actually...
Yeah, they saw it had broken in half. Yeah, that's...
Like, they were like, wait, hang on. There's only half a ship here. Yeah. It was only discovered in, like, 1985, so that's, like, more recently than you'd think.
Yeah, but I don't know, like... I feel like I would believe the people who actually, you know, survived the Titanic. Because, like, from what I understand, they had, like, actual survivors, like, serve as, like consultants. Yeah, but like they didn't believe them, but they didn't live through this themselves. So I was just like, what? Why didn't you? I mean, I guess they also saved money by not also bringing it
apart. And heard it, but it was, despite what it's portrayed in the film, it was actually pitch black at night, so it was kind of hard to see.
Yeah, I guess so. So
We know that
Anyway,
we do know that it's snapped in half. Though,
yeah,
so.
yeah. Now we know. Yeah. So anyway, what did you guys think? Yeah.
I don't mind this film. Like, as a Titanic history buff, like I'm fine with the existence of this film, and I can kind of appreciate it on that. And I do like how it is. I think it is a well-made film for 1958, and just like, I think even if it doesn't portray the sinking scene the best, I thought it was still really good, even though it's like not as, I guess, well made or executed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was no tension at all. I was not afraid of anything, you know? Like, was that just me? Or
Yeah. I mean, I can understand. Did you guys notice that there was no Americans in the film?
No, there was was she the Kathy Bates one? The one
No,
the
she's
southern
not.
accent?
She's not in that.
Oh, no,
I
but
don't
like
think she's in it.
the woman with like the southern accent in the film, was she the Kathy Bates character? I thought they were the same
Maybe.
character. Cuz like she
Maybe.
had like
I
a
think
southern
so.
drawl, and like she was like, "Oh, my husband like struck a gold mine and now I'm like new rich or whatever." I thought that was the same character.
That might have been her then, but there was no American characters. They were all British.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
I was
So
just wondering if I was the only one that picked up on that.
I thought for sure there was another American.
I mean, I might just be misremembering, but
There was an Italian, I remember that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
because the guy who was like, I don't remember. It was he got out of his room, and then the guy the employee was like, "Sir, you need to put on your lifeboat and go upstairs," and he's like screaming in Italian. I don't know. It's like everything is just so inferior compared to the Cameron film, and I know, like, I guess it's not trying to go for the same thing, but at the same time it is, because there clearly was a lot of money into the special effects, but that doesn't mean anything to me if I don't give a shit about any of the characters, if no one is interesting or like no one is well written, you know? Like, the only guy that was kind of interesting was the guy who like was directing people into the lifeboats, and then like he was the guy who was also leading like the upside down boat.
Murdoch.
Oh,
no,
was?
no,
Okay.
that wasn't Officer Murdoch then. That was Charles Lightoller.
Okay,
Who was the guy who threatened to shoot them all like dogs in the Cameron film.
The main character dude, yeah, whatever the fuck his name was, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It was just, there isn't really much to say, because like I mentioned in my review, it's just watch the James Cameron one. It's a much better version of this. It's like, because that's what I kept thinking. It's like, this would be great if my history teacher just said, "Fuck it, I don't want to teach today. Here's a DVD of the Titanic," but not the one with like naked Kate Winslet.
Not the one with like romance.
Yeah,
You're
not
gonna
the
get
fun
historically
one.
accurate version. My teachers never cared about that when we showed movies in class.
Yeah, if I was a
whatever.
teacher and I was teaching about the Titanic, I would not care about that either. It's like, grow up. You're in high school. You are all maturing adults. Oh, okay.
That's always weird, like, to me, that people saw that film as early as they did. The James Cameron one. Everyone's like, "This is my childhood movie," and I was like, "Really?"
There was a naked Kate Winslet. That was everyone's childhood. Yeah, because that's what this felt like. It felt like a PSA, like to say, "This is what happened to the Titanic. Don't repeat their mistakes." I swear to God. Yeah, I swear to God, I thought they were gonna do that. Like, it's like, because they had that last bit of text at the end of the movie where it's like, "But the story of the Titanic is not over." It's like, and now
that was cringe.
It's like, what the fuck?
Watching that in 2023 is like, yeah, is it though? I think
not
it's over.
really. Yeah. Yeah, it's. Did you guys I thought it was really weird that the film opened with like the bottle cracking on the Titanic. It's like, the Titanic is now open, and then it just cuts to things that aren't on the Titanic, and I was like, that was weird.
Yeah, but I mean, that was all the people leaving to go on the Titanic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah. On a technical level, I can't deny, like, yeah, this is pretty well made for what they're going for, but yeah, it's just like, again, that just doesn't mean anything to me if like none of the characters are interesting and I'm just so bored. Like, I can't stress enough how bored I was watching this film. I was kind of tempted to watch the film in 2 times speed, like, I was like, I just need
Oh
this
god,
to be
imagine the
over.
British accents with all
Yeah,
that.
the British accents would have been like cringe. I didn't end up watching it at 2 times speed, but I was like constantly thinking about it. It's like, yeah. Because at a certain point, when like when we're like halfway through like the boat sinking, and I was like, okay, I kind of get where this is going. Let's like move on already. So, because like the only bits of stuff that were in this that kind of wasn't in the Cameron one was when like they were trying to get on the boat, but like the guys were like kicking away and like knocking out like other people who were trying to get on the boat or whatever. Like that was kind of cool. I wish more stuff like that was in the film, you know, but whatever. So
Yeah. It is a
Is there
history
really-
lesson, as we've said.
yeah, it's just a history movie. It's like, you know, just put it on in school when you don't feel like teaching that day. That's just really what this movie is for.
Yeah.
You know, I guess it's
I
better
wish,
than
I
like
wish my history teacher taught the Titanic, honestly.
yeah, yeah. We should yeah. I wish teachers were cool.
We should
like
have
that.
watched. Yeah, maybe one day on this podcast I'll recommend Raise the Titanic. Do you guys know that movie?
I don't know what the hell that is.
It's like a 1980 like B movie about like the Russians and the Americans competing to like raise the Titanic.
Oh.
So they found out there's like a super secret metal in there that
Oh.
could give them like ultimate weapons or something. That's really goofy.
Is this any different from like the Titanic 2, the Asylum movie?
No.
Okay.
Actually, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There really isn't much else to say. Like, other than, yeah, it's a technically well-made film, but there's, like, nothing else to say. It's, like, just what it is.
It was such a goofy moment when the woman goes, when the guy goes like, maybe we should go down and join them. That looks fun. And then the woman goes like, but yes, but they're third class passengers.
It was so hokey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so half-assed. Yeah, and like I was like, it would make a fun drinking game to be like, take a shot every time someone says this boat can't sink, it's unsinkable or something like that. Because they say it so fucking often. I was like, we get it.
It's such a
The boat
funny
can't
moment.
sink.
It was such a funny moment when the guys were playing like poker around the table or something when the ship was like starting to list a little bit, and they're like, I say, this ship is starting to list a little bit. Isn't that funny? And they're like, yeah, but it's unsinkable, so whatever.
Yeah. Oh my god, I love that. Yeah. So there were so many moments in the film where characters that I'm 40% sure showed up in an earlier scene, when they show up again, I was like, who are you? Like, I kept saying that. I was like, who are you? Like, I don't... They expected me to care about the characters, but I was like,
person
I
1,
forgot...
2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I forgot they even existed. I was like, where did you come from again? What scene were you from? Yeah, and there really isn't much to say about this one. It was just... Yeah, I'll give this like
one
a... Oh, sorry.
I'll give
yeah,
this
you
a
go
6
for it.
out of 10.
Okay, yeah.
If you really want to know like the most historically accurate version of the Titanic, then I guess this is one for you. It's free on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, is it really historically accurate if it didn't even, like, correctly portray the sinking of the Titanic?
Well, yeah, but that was based on information known at the time. Like people.
They
didn't
told
think
them
it
that they broke in half, but they didn't listen to them. That's
Yeah,
they
because the
had
White Star Line
information.
covered that up. They were like, okay, we can't let anyone know that our ships are like so poorly built that they're splitting in half when.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm giving this one a 5 out of 10. I was so bored. I just wanted the movie to be over. It was such a waste of time. I felt like, because like after seeing the Cameron film,
it was not epic enough for Timmy.
it's not even that. It's just it's not even
Yeah.
that either. I just
Yeah.
didn't care.
During the sex scenes. He was
just-
like, can't relate.
Yeah, I mean, if there was
That's why
a
he
scene
was
where
so invested.
if there was like a
in the
scene where
Cameron film.
where they fucked in a car and steam was like applied on the windows, yeah,
that's-
then it would have made a better
Okay,
movie.
yeah. You know what? That's my biggest problem with the Cameron film. But like, unless it was like really insane in that car, it should not have fogged up like that. There should
They must
not
have
been
done
steam.
doing some crazy sex shit.
Yeah, but like, even so.
Yeah, and so yeah, I guess
I'll
the
send
moral
you
of the
guys
story.
the picture. I'll send you guys the picture later that James Cameron still has like the window pane from that car
Oh,
with like
really?
the handprint still on it, and he keeps it in his house.
I'd like to imagine Cameron just like has it in his like living room or whatever, and then like every now and then
I think
he
he
just like
actually
stops.
does.
Oh really? I just like to imagine every now and then he like
Yeah,
stops
he
to
keeps
take
it
a
in
look
his house,
at it,
apparently.
and he just goes, Yes,
Man, what a
I
great
did
shot
that.
was.
I did that. Yeah.
What if that was actually his hand in the shot? Like he was like, this woman, Kate Winslet can't do it. I'll just do it. I'll show you how to make something really sexy.
It's like how in *Inglourious Bastards*, Quentin Tarantino's like, no. This is how you choke someone. Like the
Yeah,
Diane
he
Kruger's
chokes her
character.
himself.
That was weird. I
have
guess
a
so.
recommendation.
Yeah, I guess it's back to me now. So yeah, for the next 3 recommendations from all of us, we're gonna do a women's directors theme to celebrate Women's Month, which is March, I think, right? Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. Women's Month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's the so yeah so I guess it's my turn. So I have 2 different recs, and I'll leave it up to you guys which one you want. There's an anime one and there's a non-anime one. Luca already knows the anime one. Non-anime?
Wait, Luca conspire with me on this. Which one's better? Because you know.
It's up to you. I mean, it's up to you
way.
guys. It's up to you guys. Okay, so we're doing the anime one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't even that again just to make sure it wasn't rigged.
It wasn't even my intention, but it seems like God really, really wants me to recommend another anime, so that's what's happening. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Okay, then my pick was A Silent Voice, 2016. Yeah, directed by Naoko Yamada. She is one of the few female directors within the anime industry, and I figured, there's not a lot of female directors in the anime industry just in general, because it's very complicated and sexism and all this other shit. So and I saw this film a long time ago. I think I saw it around when it came out. I haven't seen it since, and I think Luca also hasn't seen it in a very long time, so I figured fuck it.
I've never even heard of this film.
You've never heard of it?
This looks interesting.
It came out the same year as Your Name, so like these 2 movies were always in the same like breath of conversation and stuff. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm glad to rewatch this and this would make a pretty decent discussion. Yeah. So, okay, cool. If you don't want to be spoiled for A Silent Voice, directed by Naoko Yamada, I hope I said that correctly, 2016, watch it. If you don't want to be spoiled, we're going to spoil it. And for anyone interested, this is the same director who worked on K-On! It's just basically a cute girl anime where they play music, if that interests you at all. Yeah, this means nothing to you. Yeah, so yeah, I'm excited to rewatch this and have this will make for a fun discussion. As well, at least as fun as it. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's my alarm clock. Yeah, it will at least be as fun as. I'm not going to say anything about this.
I thought there was someone screaming in the background.
Yeah,
I thought there was like a stabbing going on.
Yeah.
For half a second.
I'm not going to say anything about the story because I want Jules to go in as blind as possible, but I was going to say it's going to make for...
I already saw the premise, sorry.
Okay, yeah. Well, okay, then it's going to be as fun as you would expect a conversation about a movie about depression and suicide, so, look forward to that. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. So, cool. Thank you, everyone. That was a fun discussion on Titanic. I'm glad you recommended those. Yeah. So, anyway, thank you, everyone.
Talk about them.
Yeah. Thank you,
We're
everyone.
talking about more James Cameron in the future. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Don't let go. Don't let go.